These are missing persons from Alabama from 1983 through 1989. On August 29, 1983, John McCain Jr. disappeared from West Jasper, Alabama. He was 22 years old. He was 5'9" and weighed 143 pounds. Any information, call 205-302-6464. On August 29, 1983, David Martin disappeared from West Jasper, Alabama. He was 31 years old. He was 5'8" and weighed 135 pounds with brown hair and brown eyes. Any information, call 205-302-6464. On August 29, 1984, Barbara Rushton disappeared from Birmingham, Alabama. She was 45 years old. She was 5'6" and weighed 130 pounds with blonde hair and blue eyes. Any information, call 205-325-5700. On April 1st, 1985, Ralph Nunn disappeared from Alexander City, Alabama. He was 55 years old. He was 5'11" and weighed 160 pounds with black hair and brown eyes. Any information, call 256-329-6743. On July 29, 1985, Jerry Lackey disappeared from Roebuck, Alabama. He was 36 years old. He was 6'2" and weighed 160 pounds with blonde hair and blue eyes. Any information, call 205-325-5700. On April 28, 1986, Jesse Banks disappeared from Birmingham, Alabama. He was 77 years old. He was 5'8" and weighed 150 pounds with black hair and brown eyes. Any information, call 205-254-1700. On October 29, 1986, Derek Casero disappeared from Hillsborough, Alabama. He was 23 years old, 6 foot, 220 pounds with brown hair and green eyes. Any information, call 256-974-2500. On January 6, 1988, Victor Barber disappeared from Bayou La Batre, Alabama. He was 20 years old, 6'1" and weighed 160 pounds with brown hair and brown eyes. Any information, call 251-574-8720. On January 9, 1988, Linda Glass disappeared from Brookwood, Alabama. She was 47 years old, 5'6" and weighed 160 pounds with brown hair and brown eyes. Any information, call 205-325-5700. On June 1, 1988, Brenda Tucker disappeared from Heflin, Alabama. She was 28 years old, 5'4" and weighed 125 pounds with brown hair and brown eyes. Any information, call 256-463-2291. On September 16, 1988, Rebecca Ferguson disappeared from Jasper, Alabama. She was 32 years old, 5'8" and weighed 130 pounds with brown hair and brown eyes. Any information, call 205-302-6464. On November 15, 1988, John Maples disappeared from Mobile, Alabama. He was 46 years old, 5'9" and weighed 200 pounds with brown hair and brown eyes. Any information, call 251-208-1700. On August 18, 1989, Lee disappeared from Huntsville, Alabama. She was 32 years old. She was 5'3" and weighed 100 pounds with black hair and brown eyes. Any information, call 256-722-7100. On December 5, 1989, Olive Dry disappeared from Fairhope, Alabama. She was 88 years old. She was 5'7" and weighed 150 pounds with brown hair and brown eyes. Any information, call 251-937-0202.